And we're started.
We are. Let me make sure we're recording everything. Recording, transcribing. Hello, everyone. I am sharing my screen. We're just going to give everyone a few more minutes, or like 2, 3 minutes max, to just filter in, and then we will begin our presentation.
Do you have your camera on, Gus and Mike? I saw you guys this. How you doing?
Yeah, hello. I know it's weird. Like Zoom doesn't do cameras.
We can shut the option off, but I like to see our
Yeah,
franchisees, you know.
it's up to them. Oh my lord. There we go. Am I sharing my? I'm sharing my screen, right? Yes.
Yep, all good.
All right, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today for the official and finally the introduction of the Expiration Wizard, which we've been working on for quite some time. But as we'll find out, has actually been successfully introduced to a couple hundred stores over the last year or so. First, I'd like to introduce our team. I am Sean, head wizard. On the call today is Jason Chandonnet, who is the we kind of have wizardy names, the Archmage of Engineering. He is responsible for everything you're about to see today, good and bad. But
Thanks,
he
Sean.
has been the one. Yeah, you're welcome. Has been the one spearheading this project and has gotten it off the ground. John Moses, the grand overseer of operations, kind of keeps us all in line and on task, as well as integrations with our third-party vendors. Rob Russo is your customer success sorcerer. He will actually be your main contact probably from this point forward, as hopefully you all join the program that we're about to show you today. And lastly, also working on this project a great deal is Lucas Garcia. He is our code apprentice and has been working very diligently on a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, as well as has spearheaded our translation feature, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Um, First of all, I do want to, and we'll get to this a little bit more near the end, but I want to make sure, just out of the gate, the Expiration Wizard is an add-on service to your base Wizard line service, and like I said, we will discuss that a little bit more on the costing of that. So, what are we trying to solve is the question. And the problem is expired documents, and that's expired documents anywhere in your system, whether that's within Pulse, within your HRIS, which Human Resource Information Services system, whatever you use for that, or maybe even just an Excel spreadsheet you have somewhere on your computer. So the problem with expired documents is it often results in employees not being able to clock in for a shift. Which, as we know, disrupts operations and ultimately puts your business at risk. If you're not updating your expirations, it's quite possible you could have drivers working for you that have expired licenses or don't have insurance or any number of things. In addition to that, we calculate that you're probably spending about $1,000 in labor per store per year on expiration maintenance. So when something expires in your stores, what are the choices for management? Well, their choices kind of depends upon whether or not you have configured your Pulse system to be able to allow the management team to make changes to team member files. There are many stores where the managers can just change anything at will, and there are not as many, but a growing percentage of stores where the managers have no access to change any really important information, such as expirations. So, regardless of whether they can or can't, either solution ultimately removes the manager from focusing on servicing the customers. So, let's just assume for a second that they can change Pulse. And so, what does that look like? Well, Driver comes in, tries to clock in, can't because Pulse won't let them, and the manager has to come off the floor. So the first thing we need to know is, are they even looking at the new document? And if they are looking at the new document, are they even entering correct information? Are they making copies of that paperwork? Is that paperwork making it to your office? There's just a huge list of issues where if your manager can change stuff, that could pop up. And I have been in many stores that where like that image on the right, where the manager just simply changes the license expiration in his head, promises that he's going to get back to that later. They just need the driver to hit the road, and then they never get back to it. So of course that leads to a huge liability, especially if they get into an accident and that paperwork actually didn't exist. So what if they can't change Pulse, which is the other alternative that we see a lot? So the options there are, well, simply sometimes the employee just doesn't work. Sorry, you didn't update your stuff. The supervisor's not around, because obviously that involves supervisor involvement. And then sometimes they just work under a different ID. Well, just go ahead and just dispatch under my number for tonight. And again, that's just as bad as the other stuff. And then what if it's after office hours, whatever that means for your above store personnel? So in any way, shape, or form you put it, it's inconvenient for all. Your supervisors don't want to be dealing with stuff while they're out with their family. The managers don't want to be calling the supervisors trying to figure out what's going on. So what's the solution? So that's where we built the Expiration Wizard. And so what that does, so here's some of the features of the Expiration Wizard, and on the following slides we'll get into more of the details. So first of all, it's proactive expiration monitoring. We look at what your expiration dates are now, both inside of Pulse and to a certain extent inside of your HRIS system. And then based upon that, we provide automatic notifications to your team members. This is, we'll get into the details, but we will automatically contact your team members and let them know that their documents are expiring. The second solution is self-service capabilities, which means even if we're not sending out automatic notifications, and we'll get into some reasons why you may or may not want to turn that on, you'll have the ability to scan a QR code in your store and then upload documents through a separate process. But what this does is it puts the onus for the expiration updates, puts it back on the employee. In addition to that, after they have submitted their document, your team will review the document and approve it. We will automatically then update Pulse as well as your HRIS system, depending upon what you're using, Alliance, and we're close on Efficient Hire, Paycor, ADP, and Paychex, if you happen to use those. And we will update all of the Pulse systems. So if you have a team member that works across multiple locations, we will update all 3, 4, 5, 100 locations with the new information. And the same thing, if you have multiple corporations set up in your HR system, we will update all of the corporations as well. This will provide you with the full audit log, and we also have customized notifications at 30, 14, 1, and 0-day increments. Like your stuff is expired, like you need to get it in now. So as I've mentioned, even though we're revealing this officially finally to our user base, our customer base, we've been doing this for quite some time. So since we've been in testing, we have updated over 15,000 employee documents. Those are licenses, registrations, insurance, and food handler certificates within for 15,000 different individual items. That has resulted in over 33,000 Pulse record updates. Again, if they're located in more than one Pulse system, we will update all of the Pulse systems within your franchise that they exist in. And for the HRIS systems we work with, we've updated 13,575 records within those systems as well. Again, saving on estimate. John, do you have a question? You've raised your hand.
Oh, you could have waited till you were done. I was going to say, you mentioned earlier a couple hundred stores. I wanted people to know that it's actually over 600 stores now. So that's just to give a little context, and then I will unraise my hand. We're using this tool for the first time today. So
we are using it for so that brings up a good point. I meant to cover this at the beginning. Somewhere in your interface, you should see if you have a question, you can raise your hand, but there's also a chat area. and you'll also see up there a Q&A section. So this is kind of a very much a live conversation. Obviously, there's stuff we want to get through and talk about, and we'll probably cover your question. But if at any point you can throw stuff in the chat or the Q&A section. So again, we estimate that you spend about $1,000 per year per store, which means we can save you that money. And how we got there was roughly an hour and a half. And if you're interested in the math, I'm a math guy. An hour and a half spent per year per employee on some kind of expiration thing: MVRs, insurances, registrations, licenses, an average wage and taxes distribution of $30 times 25 employees. So it's about $1,000 per store that you're spending just to handle expiration stuff. And that's just the hard labor. That has nothing to do with the fact that if you're not doing it right, you put your business at tremendous risk. So we've been together a long. It's good to see Gus. I told Gus. I hope this is okay with Gus. I told him I was going to use his text that he sent me the other day. He said that the expiration is the best with 5 exclamation points, and he gave me 4 fire emojis and said thanks for creating it. Gus is one of our new members to the Expiration Wizard, and we're glad to have him on board. Earlier, I talked about proactive versus self-service. So proactive is, again, we're monitoring your expirations in your system. But I got to be honest, some of your systems are really ugly, quite frankly. And so, like, when we first go to turn you on and we see that you have 731 expired documents, and 233 expiring, we're probably going to have a discussion on cleaning up your systems first. But if alternatively, if we turn you on and we see something similar to this screen, then we can go with the proactive solution. And again, what does the proactive solution mean? The proactive solution means automatic notifications to your team members. By default, they're set for 30, 14, 1, and 0. So meaning 30 days out from when a document is set to expire, we will either text, email, or if you're using the Next app, which is kind of a communication platform within your stores. If you're not familiar with that, it's one of our partners. We'd love to talk to you about it. So we will automatically text message and email if we have both, and this is all pulled from either your HR system or from Pulse directly from the necessary fields, and let them know that something is about to expire. If you're on self-service, you're going to have the ability to scan a QR code. Each store will have their own QR code. You can just post it on wherever your notifications are in your store. They can go up and scan it. They will then log in with whatever their Pulse ID and password is in Pulse. So when you're in, let me just go back a slide. When you're in the proactive solution, we know what store, we know what team member it is, and we know what document we're trying to get updated. Obviously, in self-service, we don't know all of that information. So you scan the QR code, that tells us what store, and then they use their Pulse ID and password, that tells us what who that team member is, and then lastly they select the document to update. So what does that look like to the employee? So they receive an email, text message, that's a typo, or a Next alert. I'm like circling my screen like you can see what I'm circling. I guess if I did this, I could do it. Alert. If they then click on the link, and then they use their phone to take a photo, or they enter the data, but they have to take a photo anyway. But they use their phone to take a picture of the document. And then we'll talk about a little bit what happens after they take a picture of the document. And in fact, we're going to kind of show you that process in a second. If it's self-service, just very simple. They scan the QR code in the store. They use their Pulse user ID and password to log in, and then they scan their document. Self-service, however, even if you're on the automatic system, you're going to have access to self-service as in addition to that, because self-service allows for things such as, well, they got a new vehicle, so they have a new registration, or they changed insurance carriers before their stuff expired, or just any reason why we wouldn't know that something's expired, but you need to get that information and get it stored and get it added and get everything updated accordingly. So what does that look like for license?
Actually, Sean, before we
Yes.
move on, I
Yeah,
just want to
absolutely.
say one quick thing about self-service. So back to your point of, say we start working on this and we see there's a lot of work that needs to be done to clean up Pulse. So one of the things one of our larger franchises ended up doing was their Pulse was in need of a lot of TLC. So they used the self-service mechanism to have all of their team members just get all of the documentation in there updated. So, depending on if you already have the data somewhere, obviously you can update things through Wizards. However, you can always take advantage of our self-service capabilities so that you can now have the documentation plus a photo of your documentation.
Very good. Thank you. Just to clear some questions that have come up, in case everyone's not monitoring chat. Looks like Gus says that in his opinion, he's experienced with Wizard that he's saving $2,500 per store per year, and that's totally worth it. We had a question come in from Sherry that said, can you roll out per store, or is it just company wide? And the answer is you can do it per store, and in fact, that's what some franchises do, particularly if their systems are dirty, so to speak, that they'll roll out in a couple stores, clean up, and as they clean up more systems, get those rolled out. Self-service. So let's just go over a couple of the doc types. So the license is kind of the niftiest of the group, if you will, that they'll take a picture of the front of their license. We'll use what's called an AI license data extractor, just super fancy to read that license, because licenses are very standardized. So we do a very good job of picking up on all that stuff. And then in addition to that, you'll also scan the back of a license, which has this fancy barcode. It's called a PDF 417. That actually is encrypted with all of the information that's on the front of the license. So we'll read the front of the license and we'll decrypt this barcode to get all of that information. In addition to that, other docs that are currently in the program are insurance, and then included with insurance, because our testers, one of our big test groups needed this, is permission to drive forms. So if perhaps the vehicle that someone's using they don't own that vehicle, there's that additional step and layer that we will also collect the permission to drive, that they have permission to drive that vehicle for work, registration, and food handlers expirations. And all of those are the ones that we focused on initially, because those are the expirations inside a Pulse that can really trip you up. So I think at this point, it's a reasonable time to do perhaps an employee live demo. And as I get my cell phone ready to show you how that works, I'm going to ask Rob to show you. So Rob's going to show you how to kind of send out a manual alert. So this is actually outside of the scope of what we've talked about so far, which is the automated alerts and the self-service scanning a QR code. In addition to that, whoever you designate as your overseer of the program has the ability to also send out alerts and notifications to team members. So Rob, yes, please take over while I log into my phone.
I hit share. Can you all see it or no?
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing everybody's names. Okay, so it's we want to work on Sean's driver's license. It's expired, and we want to send him a manual notification instead of the automatic one. This one here means he's already been sent one notification, so we're going to bug him and send him a second one because he has not responded. We're going to click on the envelope, type in his phone number, click the box, and hit send.
Oh, you already hit send?
I did.
Very good.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I just have to find a way to share my phone. Share screen without audio. Start broadcast. Please let me know if you can see my cell phone screen.
We can.
You can, although you're seeing.
That's nifty.
Isn't it? It's crazy. Okay, so what we have here is I've just received the text message alert, which you can see at the top of my screen. So as the team member, we're going to click on the text message, and it says, let me get Rob out of the way there. It says Domino Store 3225 year expiration wizard. Dear Sean Brunel, your driver's license is set to expire. Please update it here. So the team member is very simply going to click on that link. So this is the screen to be seen. So please take a photo of the front of your driver's license. Please get as close as possible. So I'm going to select that, take photo, which is going to use the camera on my phone. I'll take a picture of my license. Use photo. I will then click next, take a picture of the back. Use photo. And then submit. And that's it. So again, through the automated process, all of that would kind of occur. You wouldn't even know that it's occurring. But Rob initiated in a manual push, and at this point, Rob's gonna show you what that looks like on the back end of things. Now that I have submitted it, so once it's submitted, whoever you designate will receive an alert that a document has been submitted, and then from there, Rob's going to show you how that looks to the from here forward. So go ahead, Rob.
Just real quick, there's a quick question before we move on. Do we have access to the scan save documents that are scanned?
Yes. So absolutely, you will, and Rob's about to show you this. You'll see the actual documents that are scanned. You can keep those inside a wizard line if it turns out that we're kind of your ultimate record keeper, if you will. Or depending upon the system, again, we will upload the actual images that are taken to your HR system as well. And Rob is sharing his screen once again.
And
Okay,
you can
and
also export each of these items as a PDF.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So if you had your own system that we either didn't integrate with, or you just have like a cloud storage somewhere with all of these stuff, from our website, you can download the images and download like a whole log of stuff to save wherever you want to save it from.
And I will add that the notification process, your office team member, whoever is approving the documents, will obviously get a notification that something's been submitted if they have it set up. But other people can receive the notification as well, down to the GM or as many people supervisor. They may not have access to approve the document, but they'll get a notification saying that Sean updated his document. So maybe they can relax a little bit and stop bugging Sean or something, or just feel better that at least Sean has submitted something. But just click on this, and there they are. So you want to, if you want to look at the document closer, you can click on it. And then if you want to, if there was a problem with the document, we do have a decline. And not only doesn't just send a message saying it's no good, it gives you reasons. The image is not clear, it's the wrong document, blah, blah, blah. Or you can hit other and type in your message. You can write, call me, or please send your declaration page, or this isn't the doc, whatever you want to write there, we can do that. So, or you can hit approve, and that's it, right, Jay? Am I right there?
Yes.
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay.
I was trying to keep up with the cats. So yes, after you clicked approve, it goes into a queue, and Pulse will be updated within 10 minutes, as long as that employee is not clocked in at the time.
Yes, not clocked in. Here's your button right. If you did want to save the PDFs yourself, like in the cloud or whatever, like Sean mentioned, there's a button right here. You can do it right now, and it'll just download them for you.
Yep. You can do it individually here, or you could, if you go back to the main dashboard, the rightmost column, you can select a set of documents and do a bulk export, just to make your life easier.
And before I get off this screen, I just wanted to show this log down here, in case you did need documentation saying, we sent you 18 messages, you never did it, or blah blah blah. You can also, it'll also say who approved it, and such. So you can go back and do any of this. It probably not needed, hopefully not often, but it can be done.
Excellent. I'm going to wrestle the screen back from you here, I think. So from there, as both Rob and Jason mentioned, we do the Pulse updates and the HR system updates. So we update again all Pulse team member files across the entire franchise. 5 stores equals 5 updates. Employees can't be clocked in, which is what Jason had mentioned. However, it's just a limitation of what Domino's, the interface that Domino's allows us to use. But we will continue to try roughly every 15 minutes until they aren't clocked in, and then we'll send the update. And then same thing with HRIS systems. If you have multiple corporations, we'll check every corporation for that team member, and if we find them, we will update the information there, as well as upload the images if that is something that your HR system allows. We talked a little bit about Pulse cleanup, but some of the ways that even if your Pulse system is a little bit dirty, this is probably a little more nitty gritty than you need, but these are what we look for. So first of all, obviously they have to be active in Pulse, which is just active, inactive, on leave, that flag in there. They have to have worked in that store that we're checking for the expirations within the last 30 days. So if they haven't clocked in and have any hours, we're just going to ignore that team member. And then as far as licenses, registration, and insurance, if they have to have non-zero road hours for us to be looking at the driver stuff. And actually that last one, which Jason and I talked about last week, actually, if we find someone who has on-road hours and they don't have driver's license stuff and registration stuff in your system, we're creating a new flag to let you know, hey, this guy hit the road and we don't have anything on them whatsoever. We talked, I think, a little bit about some of the admin settings, which is configurable by store. Again, store by store, you can have multi-recipients of the approved, the decline messages. You can do custom messaging for the reminder emails. You can change those decline reasons that Rob showed you. There's also a daily and a weekly report digest that kind of tells you expiration statuses. And again, you have store by store level access for all of the sub-users that you create. So some of the future features that we're looking at, miscellaneous expirations. We have a couple California people who franchisees who are on the system. So we're working with them to get a California sexual harassment acknowledgement. Which, Jay, what is that, every year or something?
Yes, that's a yearly thing for them.
Yeah. So anything like that is specific. We're looking to work with MBR carriers. As far as even integrating with them to pull the MBR record from their system and then update it in Pulse. And also we're looking to do Domino's Pizza vehicle inspections, which are supposed to be done, Rob, I'm going to rely on you. Is it every 6 months? Officially, according to standard, so whatever the standard is that you're supposed to be doing that perhaps aren't being done, we're looking to add the vehicle inspections where you'll actually be able to perform the inspection on your phone, and then it will update in Pulse. And then we're working on multi-language support. The first language would be Portuguese because Lucas is fluent in Portuguese, so it was the easiest. However, once he's completed that work, we can translate into Spanish or French or any additional languages as we see fit. So with that, team who have been answering questions, if you would kind of cover out loud for people who perhaps can't see the chat, what has been asked and what we've answered. Whoever would like to take that over.
Yeah, I get.
Okay,
I'll
I can
do
start.
that. Oh no, Jay, after you, sir. After
I
you.
was just starting to type the answer to Sherry's question. So regarding the insurance declaration page, so when you do an insurance document, there's a tick box on the form asking if you are the policyholder. If you're not the policyholder, then we're going to require you to enter a second page, which generally is the declaration page. We do have the ability to collect a VIN number as well. That's a franchise-wide configuration option that we have. We have not looked into bodily injury coverage data collection. However, additional things we can look at on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I was
We're going to
gonna
cover
say,
more of these
actually-
questions in a second, but I want to respect everyone's time. We've taken up 30 minutes of it. We're going to keep answering questions, and you can be in the chat. We have a few more things that we would like to cover, particularly pricing, which is where did I put that? I think I just skipped right by it. So just to get that out of the way, this is an add-on product, so it's in addition to your base Wizard line. It's $15 per store per month. Through the end of the year, we're given the first 30 days of that for free. So just you turn it on. This will actually give you the ability to kind of kick the tires. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but it won't cost you anything to find out. And if you scan the QR code and fill out the form, which tells us your interest level, which the QR code's on the next page, you'll be entered into a raffle. I believe we're giving away a Wizard Line branded backpack from LL Bean. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a
John?
really nice one too. Yeah, it's a really we're not messing around with the backpacks. We got a LL Bean New England stuff. It's really solid. It's about $100 value bag, so we're really excited to give that to somebody. And if you're not going to Vegas, we'll mail it to you directly. But definitely sign up the form.
So if you have to drop, here's how you get in touch with us. We'd love to see you out in Vegas. Again, we're going to continue doing the Q&A and answering the chat questions. And then there's the QR code that you can scan. What else did we have in chat?
We have one. Sabrina wanted to learn a little bit more about the integration with Next, so that we can. Sabrina, if you wanted to email Rob, we can definitely have a conversation about that. So Rob at thewizardline.com.
Yeah, for those who don't know what Next is, Next they do a lot of things, but they have a messaging app. They kind of replaced. Well, they existed before this, but when Crew kind of folded. Crew was what a lot of franchisees use for team member communication, so that they didn't have to worry about getting text messages and stuff. So within that messaging app, we can actually push a notification through that app to your team members. We had a couple. I'm going to let you get back to chat in a second. We had a couple under the Q&A. Michael asked, can we add documents to scan like a social security card? And the answer to that is no. And is with that particular document, I don't think that's something that we'll be bringing on. We want to focus on stuff that has an expiration period. So like something that you need to continuously update. We're not looking to be an HR system. We're looking to very specifically hone in on expiration stuff. So because, for example, Social Security card doesn't involve any expiration tracking, it's not something that we would put into the system, at least as currently designed. And then you also asked, which we may have answered, do you have access to the scan saved documents that are scanned? Yep. So we did ask that. Back to chat.
So just real quick too, while we have a second here, I don't want to sit on this. So Wizard Line is going to have 3 booths this year. So come to the center booth. It's going to be a lounge area. We're going to have a place for you guys to hang out. We're going to have video games, meet partners. Just so everybody here knows, while we have this audience, you can turn on any partner integration with our numerous amount of partners for free with us. All you have to do is give us permission to share data, and we'll get that all turned on. And those things can enable your tools in many different ways. But definitely scan. Come by and see us. It's going to be a super great time. We're going to have partners there. We're going to have drinks there. Well, I wish drinks, not those kinds of drinks. And we're going to play some Noid, which Sean actually purchased especially for the show. You're going to really dig it.
Yeah, if you never played the Noid game from the old school NES, we're going to have that at one of our 3 booths to just kind of play around with and have some fun. But did we cover all of the chat? All right.
What's the date for Vegas?
I haven't been able to keep up with chat, so I apologize. Is there anything in chat that we didn't cover, team?
You're doing really well. No, we're really caught up. What's the dates for Vegas, Sean? I forget.
10/1, 10/2. What is it? 9/27, 9/30.
Yeah, that
9/30.
Yeah, 9/30
that
through
Tuesday.
10/2, I think.
Last Tuesday of this month.
Correct.
I will say about the 10-minute thing about how fast things get into Pulse. Just to clarify that, we connect to Pulse basically every 10 minutes. So it depends where you are in that 10 minutes. So it could be 2 minutes.
30 seconds.
It could be 10 minutes. It could be 30 seconds, but it's not going to be more than 10 minutes, just so that's kind of cleared up there.
Yeah. Once the updates.
Not sure how long. Wait, somebody asked about Alliance. Once this updates through Wizard Pulse, can it populate over to Alliance? That was from... Yes, we do have integration with Alliance. Yes.
Yeah, Alliance was the first and currently the most robust integration, where we'll update all of the stuff in Alliance, and Alliance does allow for the document uploads. Although I think Gus might have dropped. We're having an issue with Gus's Alliance accounts, but we have that in our ticket system.
But so for the person that asked that, if you have Alliance and you sign up, make sure we get that that we'll get that connection built. You can be using your Alliance connection right now anyway. So Rob, we could definitely reach out to you on that as well.
Did we answer the insurance declaration page?
Yep.
Okay. So what was the answer on that one?
Yeah, and
Not
about
yet.
the bodily
Yes.
about the bodily injury part.
Yes.
If it's on, that might actually be on that first page, and if it is, then it's recorded. But if it's on a separate page, then maybe we can figure out how to add a second page or something. I'm not real sure what was, but we're gonna put that down, Sherry, and figure that out. Was it Robert Mackin that answered that question? He's not hooked up to Alliance on my system, so we can get that set up for you if you are set up on Alliance. We just need your company number.
I think we have answered all of the questions in chat. I'll just give a few more seconds. We thank you for attending our webinar. Hopefully this is something that you'll enjoy. Let me go back. There it is. So yeah, EW info, scan that QR code to be entered into the backpack raffle. I just see someone's just typing real quick before I sign off, see if it's anything we have to answer. But other than that, we will see you. Just thank you very much. Thank you very much as well. Thanks everyone for attending, and we'll see you in Vegas. So, all right.
See you guys
Thanks,
in
everyone.
Vegas.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.